Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Faith Martin reveals current status of Kim-Buike relationship after Bachelor in Paradise romance. Faith Martin has set the record straight on whether she and Kim-Buike are still dating after their brief romance unfolded on Bachelor in Paradise's 10th season. While it appeared Faith and Kim had hard-launched their relationship on social media in August by spending time together in Faith's hometown, Faith just revealed on Instagram that she and Kim are no longer together. Her post a relationship with Kim in a Wednesday, September 10 Instagram post. Alongside a video taken at her farm, Faith wrote to her followers, "Since we left the show, there were fake fan page stories about us that were completely fabricated and untrue. Neither of us have ever done interviews or given quotes. It's time we set the record straight. He lives 5+ hours away, or we would have made a video together." In the video, Faith explained, "I just got off the phone with Kim not too long ago, and I think it's safe to say that we are allowed to say what's going on with us, right? So we talk sometimes 2 to 3 times a week. He lives 5.5 hours away." Faith went on to confirm, "The point is this: we are not an in-love couple. Nope, we are not. We never fell in love." Faith clarified that while she and Kim had a great connection on the show, it didn't last in the real world. "Bachelor in Paradise was a ton of fun, and I loved every minute of it, but we had our time. We kind of got matched together because of the situation, and I really appreciate that he gave me a rose," Faith said. "And I appreciate the fact that we had a little bit of time to explore our connection, which was definitely genuine. We had a great time and we really care about each other. But are we each other's person? I think he and I both agree no." Faith insisted that neither of them are heartbroken by this outcome. "We are rooting for each other's happiness and finding our own person, if that time ever comes," Faith noted. "I'm actually fairly content just the way I am. Thank you all for caring. We love you. It's super sweet that you all cared enough to write us and cheer us on and all that. We had a great time on Bachelor in Paradise," Faith shared. "And just know he is a great guy and he's available, so you ladies, hit him up, okay? I'm sure he's got plenty of ladies, but he really showed me a unique side that maybe you would not have seen otherwise. He is a very wonderful man, and I care about him a lot." But Faith admitted that she feels Kim is just not her forever person. She continued, "And there's nothing wrong with that. And that is the deal with us women, is that we've got to be open to those connections and, take a chance to get to know somebody, because it's really easy for us to just discount everyone and not go out at all." Faith explained how it was a safe space on the show, which is why she had pursued Kim. "That's why I took advantage of it, but in real life, I'm not quite as brave, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, we wanted to update you on that. So hit him up in his DMs if you're interested," she said. Hours later, Faith addressed all the thought-provoking comments from fans that were filling her Instagram page. "A lot of you are saying that it's so sad it didn't work out between Kim and I, but it did. Because we're great friends. We talk a lot, and it's a great thing," Faith shared. Faith insisted she doesn't regret one single second of her romance and time spent with Kim. "I really think it's important to explore your own emotions and your own things that are going on with you. And I wasn't sure that I wasn't just repeating patterns in thinking that Kim isn't somebody I'd be interested in. And so I'm really glad that I got to explore that connection and see," Faith explained. "But ultimately, yeah, I don't feel like he's my person, and isn't that really what it's all about? We want to find that best friend that we're crazily attracted to. We want chemistry, and we want everything else too. And why shouldn't we have that, right? Why shouldn't we?" Faith explained how a lot of women in her age category would need to find Mr. Right in order to disrupt their lives. "We're perfectly content doing our own thing until when, and if, the time comes that you actually feel compelled to make room in your life for somebody else," Faith said. And unless you feel so compelled to really want to jump through hoops to see that person and to spend time with that person, that would be the good indicator that that is your person. And if you're not, then well, that's just somebody that you've got a great connection with, that who you appreciate, but a little more from afar. Faith concluded, "So that's the deal, and I just don't want you to feel sad for us because we're both very, very happy." In early August, Kim had posted a montage of moments from his stint on Bachelor in Paradise via Instagram. Alongside the footage, most of which featured Faith, Kim wrote, "When you know," which seemed to suggest the pair was still dating. Faith and Kim had paired up on Bachelor in Paradise this summer and definitely made a connection. After a steamy makeout session, both Faith and Kim seemed convinced that they had found the real deal in each other. Faith and Kim proceeded to compete as a team for Bachelor in Paradise's prize of $500,000. However, a Bachelor in Paradise twist required the cast to vote to eliminate one man, and ultimately his partner, from the show following a relationship compatibility test, which resulted in Faith and Kim's ouster. Because Kim was struggling with health issues and had to wear a heart monitor around the resort, most of the cast determined he should go home and take care of himself. Kim and Faith were pretty bummed out when their time in Bachelor in Paradise was over, but they appeared to leave the show as a couple ready to put in the work and figure things out. Prior to Paradise, Faith was a finalist on Jerry Turner's The Golden Bachelor season in 2023, and Kim had competed for Joan Vasso's heart on The Golden Bachelorette in 2024. When Faith Martin and Kim Buike first crossed paths on the sun-soaked beaches of Bachelor in Paradise, viewers were instantly captivated. Their chemistry seemed to flow as naturally as the ocean tide behind them, playful, flirty, and brimming with possibility. While the cameras captured stolen kisses, heart-to-hearts under tiki torches, and even the occasional spat that tested their bond, fans were left wondering whether the reality TV spark could actually last once the cameras stopped rolling. Now, months after the finale aired, Faith is finally breaking her silence. In an exclusive sit-down interview, she opened up about where things truly stand between her and Kim, and the answer might surprise those who followed every twist of their island love story. A Paradise beginning. Faith recalls that she wasn't expecting anything monumental when she agreed to join the show. "I went into Paradise with an open mind," she said with a smile. You tell yourself not to expect much, because it's a pressure cooker environment. But the second Kim walked in, I was intrigued. He had this calm energy that felt grounding, even when everything around us was chaotic. Kim, known for his quick wit and straightforward personality, seemed like the perfect foil to Faith's more thoughtful, sometimes cautious nature. Their beach dates were filled with laughter. Faith even joked that Kim never met a coconut drink he didn't like. But there was depth too, conversations about family, about the struggle to find genuine connection in a world where dating apps had replaced meet-cutes. After the cameras. Once production wrapped, the real test began. Paradise is, well, it's not the real world, Faith admitted. You're surrounded by people who are also looking for love. Your meals are cooked for you, and you don't have to worry about things like rent or work deadlines. Taking that chemistry and seeing if it survives in everyday life is a whole different ballgame. The pair decided to give it a try outside of the bubble, traveling between their respective cities and leading into fast-time dates when miles separated them. For a while, things looked promising. Social media followers noticed subtle clues, an Instagram story of Faith showing a familiar leather jacket that fans swore belonged to Kim, or Kim posting a song lyric that perfectly matched one of Faith's captions. Rumors and reality. Of course, as with every Bachelor Nation couple, speculation ran rampant. Some blogs claimed Faith and Kim had quietly split weeks after the finale, while others insisted they were secretly engaged. Faith laughed off the rumors, but confessed that the scrutiny was hard to handle. People forget that we're human beings, she said. Every disagreement becomes a headline. Every absence from each other's feed means a breakup. Kim and I had to learn early on not to let outside voices drown out our own. But there were challenges behind the curtain. Distance was one of them, but so were their differing approaches to fame. Faith, a self-proclaimed introvert, found herself overwhelmed by constant DMs and tabloid chatter. Kim, more comfortable in the spotlight, sometimes leaned into the attention in ways that Faith struggled with. Where they stand now, so are they still together? Faith took a thoughtful pause before answering. Kim and I care about each other, and that hasn't changed, she revealed. But right now, we're not in a traditional relationship. We realized we needed space to figure out who we are as individuals before we can really be solid as a couple. That doesn't mean the door is closed. Faith described their current bond as friends with the deepest of histories. They still talk regularly, still cheer each other on in career milestones, and haven't ruled out the possibility of reconnecting romantically down the line. It's not a fairy tale ending, Faith said candidly, but it's real. And for me, that's more important than pretending we're perfect when we're not. Kim's perspective. Though Kim hasn't spoken at length publicly, insiders say he respects Faith's honesty and shares her sentiment. According to one source close to the former couple, Kim has nothing but love for Faith. He said multiple times that she changed the way he looks at relationships. Whether they're together or not, that's a bond that doesn't disappear overnight. Faith's lessons from paradise. Beyond her connection with Kim, Faith reflected on what Bachelor in Paradise taught her. It forced me to be vulnerable in front of millions of people, which is terrifying, she laughed. But it also showed me that I deserve someone who sees me, really sees me, and doesn't flinch when I'm not my sunniest self. She's also grateful for the friendships she formed with other women on the beach, many of whom still remain part of her inner circle. We went through something together that no one else can really understand, Faith explained. When I look back, it's not just about the romance. It's about the late-night chats, the tears, the support. That's something I'll carry forever. What's next for Faith? As for what comes next, Faith is leaning into personal growth. She's focusing on her career, exploring creative passions, and yes, still open to love. But this time, she's taking it at her own pace. I'm not closing myself off, but I'm also not rushing, she said. Kim and I have our own paths right now, and maybe those paths will cross again. Maybe they won't, but either way, I know I'm stronger because of what we had. The bigger picture. In the world of Bachelor Nation, where couples are often measured by the longevity of their romance, Faith's perspective feels refreshing. Rather than chasing the illusion of a perfect ending, she's embracing the messy, complicated, beautifully imperfect reality of modern love. Fans may still root for her and Kim, but Faith is clear. What matters most is authenticity. I'd rather be honest about where we're at than pretend for the sake of a headline, she said firmly. At the end of the day, love is about learning, growing, and showing up. That's exactly what we're both doing, together or apart. Closing thoughts. So while Faith Martin and Kim Buike may not be the fairy tale couple fans imagined as the waves crashed around them in paradise, their story is far from over. It's a narrative filled with sparks, hurdles, laughter, and lessons. A reminder that real relationships rarely follow the script of a reality TV show. Whether they find their way back to each other or simply continue as close friends, one thing is clear. Faith and Kim's Bachelor in Paradise romance left a mark not only on each other, but on fans who watched their journey unfold. We'll always be part of each other's stories, Faith said softly. And to me, that's its own kind of happy ending.